Hello, welcome back to yet another daily lore. Next we're gonna react to this next one. This one, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna, I feel like I'm gonna mention this every so often. If you want to check out the original video, original channel, because I don't know how to do the original video link. I mean, no, I do, but it takes too much work, and I'd rather just. Maybe I'll do that. But if you want to check the original channel, it's always in the description. And obviously, thank you for Daily Lore for providing the content. Okay, let's go.
Also, we have a timer. I kind of like this assault rifle, but I do think that the gun that we had before was a little bit better.
My brother insisted on inviting my childhood bully to his wedding because he's changed. Last night at the rehearsal dinner, the bully mocked my stutter in his toast. I stood up, put the medical records of the 4 surgeries I needed after his prank on the projector, and walked out. Now my family is calling me vindictive for embarrassing them. I, 32M.
Shit. Oh my god. Oh, what the hell? Ugh. My god. Who cares if you're vindictive or not? Oh my god. In that scenario, I would say it's valid. This is completely valid. Well, just hearing the beginning, I'm not sure I would see if it's valid again or not, because sometimes I say a thing in the beginning, and then I might say something else when I actually hear the whole story. But for now, I think it's valid.
Grew up with a severe stutter that made my childhood and teenage years incredibly difficult. School was a daily nightmare.
I had a stutter as well. Well, no, I didn't have a I mean, sometimes I do, but no, I had a speech impediment when I was younger. It was S's. I had trouble with S's. That, I mean, obviously I'm not anymore, but
Thanks to one person in particular, Liam. From elementary through high school, he tormented me relentlessly, mocking my speech impediment, isolating me socially, and eventually escalating to physical bullying that I'll never forget. The worst incident happened during our senior year of
it all counts as speech impediment. I forgot. Yeah, I didn't really have stutter. I just had a problem with S's.
high school. Liam convinced me that the speech therapy club wanted me to give a presentation about my progress. Excited about the opportunity and trusting that it was legitimate, I spent weeks preparing. When I arrived, there was no speech therapy event, just Liam and his friends waiting to record and mock my stuttering. When I tried to leave, Liam tripped me, causing me to fall down a flight of concrete stairs. I suffered a broken arm, shattered collarbone, concussion, and facial injuries that required 4 separate surgeries to repair. Liam was suspended but never faced legal consequences because his father was a prominent figure in our small town. My parents considered pressing charges, but ultimately decided against it after the school promised he would receive counseling and perform community service. It wasn't justice, but it was all we got. After graduation, I left for college and never looked back. Through intensive speech therapy, determination, and the support of new friends who valued me, I gradually overcame my stutter. It still emerges when I'm extremely stressed or emotional, but I've built a successful life as a physical therapist, ironically helping others recover from it.
That's good. I mean, yeah, sometimes stuttering, it's something that can be muted, but obviously sometimes it might still come out. Because I never actually had a stuttering problem, but for some reason I stutter. I don't know why. It's like my brain just freezes and I just keep repeating the same word over and over again.
Injuries similar to those I once sustained. I hadn't seen or thought about Liam in years until 3 months ago, when my younger brother Jason announced his engagement to Emma. During dinner celebrating their engagement, Jason mentioned that Emma's cousin was someone I might remember from school, Liam. My blood ran cold as Jason casually explained that Liam would be invited to the wedding as part of Emma's family. He's changed, Jason insisted when I pulled him aside later. He's a family man now, coaches Little League, does charity work. Emma says he's completely different from the guy you knew in high school. I was skeptical but reluctantly agreed not to make an issue of it for Jason.
Yeah, right. People hardly ever change. They might, quote unquote, change in the public eye, but one on one, of course, no. Usually, I won't say always.
Sake. The wedding was important to him, and I didn't want my past to cast a shadow over his special day. I only had one request, that Liam not be seated at my table or placed in any role where we would have to interact directly. Jason promised to respect my wishes, and I trusted him. Emma, who knew the history between Liam and me, assured me he had genuinely transformed and even suggested he wanted to apologize. Against my better judgment, I decided to give the situation a chance, focusing on my brother's happiness rather than my lingering trauma. The rehearsal dinner was last night at an upscale restaurant with about 50 guests. I arrived with my girlfriend Sarah, who knew my history with Liam and had promised to stay by my side for support. Everything was going smoothly until I spotted him across the room, older, dressed in an expensive suit, but unmistakably the same person who had made my early life a living hell. Our eyes met briefly before I looked away, my heart racing. To my relief, Liam kept his distance initially, and I began to think perhaps we could coexist for one weekend without incident. I was wrong. After the main course, Jason announced it was time for toasts. As the best man, I delivered mine first, a heartfelt message about Jason finding his perfect partner that thankfully came out without a single stutter despite my nervousness. Several others spoke, and then, to my shock, the microphone was passed to Liam. Many of you don't know this, he began, seeming perfectly charming, but I've known the groom's family since we were kids. In fact, his brother and I were classmates. I tensed, feeling Sarah's hand tighten around mine as Liam launched into what appeared to be an innocent reminiscence about our school days. Then came the turn. Of course, back then, his brother wasn't the smooth-talking physical therapist you see today, Liam continued with a smirk. He was more like Tristan's expression shift from confusion to horror as he realized what was happening. Emma looked mortified, her hands covering her mouth. But Liam continued, encouraged by the uncomfortable laughter of those who didn't understand the cruelty behind his joke. Remember that time in senior year when you were as my trauma, but in that moment, all the pain, humiliation, and rage came flooding back at me as I connected my computer and pulled up the file like screen that had moments before shown happy photos of the engaged couple. X-rays of my broken bone, sessions needed not just for my stutter, but to relearn, connected my laptop, packed it away, kissed, driving to our hotel where Sarah joined me an hour later. According to her, the dinner had dissolved into chaos after my exit. Emma was furious with Liam, her parents were mortified, and Liam had left shortly after, looking like he might be sick. This morning, the fallout began. My mother called, saying I had embarrassed the entire family and ruined Jason's rehearsal dinner with my vindictive display.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Excuse me? What? Huh? What you want me to do? Sit there and let him talk bad about me? What? Is that what you would do? You would just sit there and let somebody talk badly about you, about your trauma? I don't I don't think you would you? If you would, you're mostly like, what you are is probably a pacifist, most likely. You don't like confrontation. But I don't think you would just sit there and, let somebody bring up traumatic experiences about you. That wouldn't make sense. I don't know why they're blaming him. I understand the connecting your laptop. Yes, that's like, bad and all. Especially when it was at a rehearsal dinner. So it wasn't really at the real thing. So it's not like it's that bad. I wouldn't really classify it that bad. It's a rehearsal for the real thing. So it's not like it ruined anything, honestly. And it's not like it actually. If people blame you, your family, for anything, they need a reality check. The other kid is the one at fault for everything.
She suggested I should have just stepped outside if I was uncomfortable rather than making a scene. My father, typically my defender, was uncharacteristically quiet during the call, only saying that while
Right. Step outside. You know, stepping outside shows a weakness. Honestly, that's what it shows him. It shows him he got to you. Doing it this way, it might show him he got to you, but you also got to him as well because you paid him back because of what you showed him.
Liam was wrong, perhaps there had been more mature ways to handle it. Jason's reaction hurt the most. While he acknowledged Liam's toast was completely inappropriate, he accused me of deliberately hijacking his rehearsal dinner to settle an old score. He said both Emma.
Like, come on, dude. It's not like he gone out of his way to do that. No, he didn't gone out of his way to do that. So, I mean, he, also, nobody stopped him. Why did nobody stop him from speaking after you heard the first time? What, everyone was so stunned that they didn't do anything? What? Like, I understand both the situations are bad, but which one's worse? I would say the first one's worse. The second one, I would say that's just a consequence of the first actions. I mean, you keep picking on somebody, you're eventually gonna get, yeah, nope. Mm-mm.
His family and ours were deeply embarrassed,
You're
and several
eventually gonna
guests
get
had left early,
something.
uncomfortable with the sudden tension. This weekend was supposed to be about Emma and me, he texted. Not your high school trauma. Liam was wrong, but so were you. Emma.
Yes, so is he. Yes, that's true. But it wasn't his intention to obviously do that. Yes, he was wrong to do it that way. But what other way would he do? Leave? No. Why would he leave? It would also look terrible as well. It would also look bad. Either way, it would look bad.
Surprisingly, has been more understanding. She called to apologize profusely for her cousin's behavior, admitting she had no idea he would do something so cruel. She revealed that Liam had been disinvited from the wedding and that several of her family members had confronted him about his actions after learning the full story. Sarah stands firmly by my side, insisting.
Yeah, the smart people knows what's right and wrong. People that think that they know what right and wrong, they're just stupid. Like, yes, both of them are bad. You're just, all what you're doing is not picking a side. That's what you're doing. You're just not picking a side. You're trying to appease everybody. But I mean, in this case, there's no what. Why would you try to appease everybody? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. One guy is a terrible person that brings up a trauma that he caused in high school. The other one is also what he posted on the screen connected to his laptop. It was also what he caused. The guy caused it as well. So I mean, I don't really blame this guy to posting it. Maybe that's not the right venue to do it, but I mean, there was no other place for them to do this. So yes, the venue might be a bad venue, but like I said, it's a rehearsal, so it's not like it actually damaged that much. The wedding is still on. It's not like the wedding was ruined.
I did nothing wrong by showing the truth. If they're embarrassed, she said, it should be because they invited someone who nearly killed you and then mocked you for it 15 years later, not because you refused to be his victim again. The wedding is tomorrow, and I'm torn about attending. Jason wants me there but has made it clear
No, you should attend.
he thinks I owe everyone an apology for my
Fucking, oh my god, you are annoying. Holy shit.
dramatic response. My parents expect me to make amends for causing a scene, despite acknowledging Liam was wrong to mock me. Part of me wants to support my brother on his important day. Another part feels betrayed that my family seems more concerned with appearances than with the fact that the man who caused me years of physical and emotional pain was invited into a celebration and allowed to publicly humiliate me again. I don't regret showing those images. After 15 years.
You shouldn't regret it. I mean, you would think your parents would have your back and your brother, but no, they don't. They just don't. They're selfish. That's what they are.
Liam needed to face the reality of what he did to me. But I do regret that it happened during my brother's rehearsal dinner, casting a shadow over
Yes, that part I do agree on.
his celebration. I'm left wondering if standing up for myself was worth the family rift it has caused, and whether some wounds from the past never truly heal, not because we can't recover.
I think it's fine. I think it would heal. I mean, it's not like it's that big of a deal. The Remember, most things are not that big of a deal. The only way it cause a bigger deal is the people. If people make something a bigger deal than it actually is, that's how a problem comes into play. Because this is a small problem. Like, this is nothing. This is something you can move past. But if they have this stance always, forever, then this turns into a huge problem that takes probably a long ass time to figure out. And I would tell them to go to fucking therapy. That's what I would tell the parents. Actually, I'll tell them all to go to therapy, honestly. It'll probably help them understand. A therapist probably point out a lot of things.
Because others won't let them stay buried.
Get $20 off 5 cans of Zyn when you take the Zyn 10 challenge. Try it for 10 days.
Let me rewind a bit. Nah, you gotta be kidding me. It's gonna take 10 years to load, isn't it? Hold up. Let's see if I can rewind, like, right here. Nope, can't do it. Okay. Whatever. It's fine. Maybe I'll just take it out and go back in.
My brother insisted on inviting my child Titan, and regret that it happened during my brother's rehearsal dinner, casting a shadow over his celebration. I'm left wondering if standing up for myself was worth the family rift it has caused, and whether some wounds from the past never truly heal, not because we can't recover, but because others won't let them stay buried.
Yeah, that's also true. It depending, like I said, that's also based on the problem as well. That's separate, but it's also the same thing. Is if people are grown up enough to move past a problem that you had in high school. But no, you're the same person that you always been. Now you're just older. Like, there's some stereotypes. There's a reason they're stereotypes. Because they're accurate. About high school, obviously. Well, most stereotypes are accurate, but I'm talking about high school stereotypes. The jocks, popular people, everyone else. Mostly jocks, though. Wait, did I like this? Oh, I did. Okay. My brother insisted on inviting my childhood bully do his wedding because he changed last. And that was Dead Spies for the story react. Hope you have a good day, a nice evening, a good night, and a good morning. Okay, bye.